This is Multi-Million Fandom, and today I'm going to be talking about Attack on Titan's greatness in this episode called Hero. Not only a greatness, but a discussion / a review and some Attack on Titan announcements. So I'm going to go ahead and get with the new announcements, which is Attack on Titan, the newest update of time. So, according to Funimation, and this is a news update, they said that we've received an update from the Attack on Titan licensor. Starting on the 5th 26, which has already happened, new sub episodes will be available on Funimation every Sunday at 8:45 p.m. Central Time. So, that is great, because it just is. So, anyways, with that being said, let's move on. And then, so getting to the discussion of the episode, we're going to discuss Armin right now and how awesome he is. So, this episode was definitely a lot about Armin and, his bad buttness, to take on the lead and become a hero. And so he did that by many ways. As we know, Armin's a tactician, and Armin is he's just really smart, and I think that's why people depend on him, or at least people that know him. He's kind of like Erwin 2.0 in my opinion, and there's which is another thing. There's a parallel between Erwin and Armin, if you notice, because they both have these really smart brains, to think outside the box, to think outside of possibilities, more so than the other people. And I would say because they're very knowledgeable, and Armin reads books, and anyone that reads books, usually they like to learn, and usually from what I noticed, they're very knowledgeable. And I have to say that could apply to real life. But yeah, Armin was the type that liked to learn, so it makes sense. And he definitely used that, his brain in this episode. So, last episode we saw that he had trouble coming up with a tactic, because who wouldn't? Even a smart person would have trouble with that. So, he came up with these plans in these episodes, which his first plan, and I got some notes here, was for Mikasa's team, or John's team, to distract Reiner, which worked out pretty well, which was really great. And then the second plan was for Armin and Eren to take on Bertolt, which worked out well as well. So, that's just right there is Armin's greatness of being a tactician. I mean, obviously, none of them were sure between Mikasa's team and Armin's team, which consisted of Eren. It was basically a gamble. But it succeeded so far, because we'll have to see what happens in the next issue, not the next issue, or the next episode. But anyways. So, some things that also happened in this episode that make Armin great is Armin discovered that the Colossal Titan is weak in the battle of attrition. So I had to look up that word because I did not know what attrition meant. But, so Armin, not Armin, but anyways, attrition, according to Google Dictionary, is the action or process of gradually reducing the strength or effectiveness of someone or something through sustained attack or pressure. So yeah, he was becoming less strong, and it was obvious through his body becoming thinner, which that was really interesting to know that. But we also found out through Armin, and this is becoming things we found out, but, so Armin was pointing out through looking at the experiments with Hanji is that if we look back, Eren could only transform about 3 times. And he's a 15-meter Titan. And if a fifth, so basically from my understanding, what he was saying in that part of the episode, which if you watch it, you'll see where he talks about the detail. He pointed out, if a 15-meter, in my opinion, this is what I saw he was saying as, if a 15-millimeter Titan could only transform 3 times, then a 60-meter Titan probably would only be able to transform at least less than Eren could. Because it seems like, I think he was saying that, a bigger Titan has a limited amount of transforming ability, which, if I'm right, then that probably means, from my interpretation, that, the bigger Titans, like the Beast Titan, they can't transform much as well. So I'm assuming, maybe once or twice is what the transformation can be. And I guess that would make sense, because when it comes to science, I'm not sure, but, I assume that there has to be a negative thing. But, a negative part with every positive part. I think it's too much Full Metal Alchemist, kind of like the law of equivalent exchange, but probably doesn't work out like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But, yeah, so that was really interesting. So Eren can transform more because he's a tinier Titan. Well, the Colossal Titan is a bigger Titan, so that means it could transform less, which that's really interesting. And that's what's pretty cool about Armin, or Erwin 2.0, is that he figured that out. But anyways, as we continue with the discussion / another point that I would just like to point out of another great part of the episode is when Eren and Armin are talking. And when they are talking about seeing the sea, it seems like that's a moment with them, like a brotherly bond. To see this, I guess, to see the sea together. And obviously we know since Armin gave Eren the idea to see the sea, they were having that bonding moment, and Eren says, I don't know, but when it comes to taking back freedom, strength flows through me. And so Armin's thinking of that moment as he's about to die, and he knows he's going to die, saying that, I'm not going to make it out alive, because Armin is making a sacrifice, and he knows he's making a sacrifice. So he's like, okay, I'm not going to make it out alive, but, I really do want to see the sea. So, he said, but it doesn't, it's basically Armin saying, it doesn't really matter, because, if I'm gonna die, because courage flows through me to know that there is an outside. So, I thought that was very, that was the good writing part of this episode so far, which, by the way, there's I feel like there's a lot of people that dig on Attack on Titan, and I don't know why, because, yes, I know people have their opinions, but it has good writing, or at least, I think so, so I really don't understand it. Some people dig on it because it's, a shonen type of anime, but things like this, what Armin and the Eren moment, talking about the sea, that, to me, reminded me of something so poetic. It was amazing. Because you get that emotion, and it's just great. So, some other things that, we've learned throughout the episode, and another part of the discussion part, is that we learn that John is a great tactician as well. Because here's the thing. Like, okay, Armin said the plan, and maybe Armin came up with the rest of that plan too, but he didn't say exactly, like, who was going to distract who, but John said that he would be the distraction, so he came up with, I guess, that part. And then Connie and Sasha were trying to take out the Titans, jaws, and, well, one of them missed, which I saw was Sasha, but Hanji came and attacked the other jaw. And then Mikasa went with the mouth plan. So that was pretty awesome. Really enjoyed that part of the episode. But yeah, I think John's smart too. Like, I feel like he would be a great tactician as well, but it's just amazing how those three have come really far, well, minus Mikasa, because she's always been great, but, Sasha, Connie, Armin, they've become really great soldiers that I think one day they'll live up to the Survey Corps, because they've become really great fighters, which is really interesting. Out of people that obviously were a lot weaker in the past, have become great fighters. So another part that was cool that I want to mention is when Armin, decides to just go ahead and confront Bertolt. There you go. That's the word. When he decides to confront Bertolt, he says something along the lines of he seems to want to entrust his life to Eren. That's just what I felt like. He said, Eren, like, this is what I think I felt like. He's like, Eren, I entrust all my dreams and my hopes to you. It's kind of like living through Eren. And so that's the way he saw it. So that was pretty awesome. And a thing that was, like, interesting is the fact that, it's like when Armin was talking to Eren, it was very obvious that Armin wasn't going to make it out alive, and I think Eren knew that, but he still went through with that plan, which was pretty awesome. Of course he pretended to play dead, and I think he had his eyes closed in that, which would mean that he probably wouldn't see Armin burn to death. But, if Eren knew this was going to happen, that's really sad, but it just showed that he was okay with Armin's sacrifice. Because honestly, to win battles like this, some people have to sacrifice themselves. And that's just how it is in war. But, yeah, that was pretty, awesome. Not in the sense that Armin dies, but it was awesome. Just that moment was awesome. And, how Armin was what's it called? Armin was a distraction for Bertolt, and obviously that ended with him burned alive. But Bertolt afterwards figured out that that was the plan, for Armin to be a distraction and for Eren to pretend he's dead so he can get time to harden the wall. And that was really surprising to me. And so it's like, which is really shocking because Eren knew that Bertolt had the power to, burn things on fire and blow things up. So, the fact that that was going to happen. But, so, the next thing the last thing I want to talk about, give, this episode very good, or I think 4 out of 5 Titans. Or 5 out of 5 Titans, yeah. Because I thought it was great. So next, I'm going to talk about, like, the next episode. If y'all saw the trailer, it's like, if you remember the quote, and I believe Armin's talking, finding the resolve, Eren and others defeat their enemies. So, I guess, so that foreshadows that, they defeated their enemies, so I guess, you know, even the Humpback Titan, who, as we could see in this episode, you know, when he saved Beast Titan, which was his buddy, obviously, from, you know, being, like, you know, captured by Levi, he was heading towards the wall. And so in the screen preview for the next episode, we see that the Humpback Titan, with a box on his back, has, you know, gone inside the wall, and Eren is threatening, from what it looks like, to kill Bertolt. You know, with a knife at Bertolt's throat. And the orange-haired dude, seems to have brought, like, the one that actually lived in this episode, to the Beast Titan throwing the rocks. That part, it looks like he dragged Erwin to Levi, and I see Levi handing the box to, Eren. So, you know, what I'm thinking was going to happen, was that, you know, because Levi was thinking in this episode that he has the syringe to transform anyone that's alive into a Titan, that was the plan, so that, you know, whoever transformed to Titan could eat, Beast Titan to get his power. Well, since that failed, you saw that part. And so, but then it was seen that Levi was looking at orange-haired dude and Erwin. So in that scene right there, I think that's why in the foreshadowing episodes we see Levi fighting with Eren, because this looks like that episode. So I think they're fighting for, obviously, who's going to get the syringe next. So yeah, that's what I think will happen. And let's see. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you for listening.